and welcome to Fallstreak. Before I begin this game, I just want to say the beginning of this game is nothing like the ending of this game. It is a very long game, and it is a very beautiful game, and there is not a visual novel like it out there in the world. Also, do you want to play with these pieces? Do you want to play with these pieces right here? Come on, come on, come on. Hello everyone. What's going on? This is Ryan Sierra. I'm in a house right now. It's kind of like dawn right now. The sun is just coming up. Um, and let's just dive right into this shit. You know what I mean? Also, the dudes who made this game on Twitter, I believe it's like Centerize or Citrus Rise Productions. Yo, bro, I love you. This Let's Play. Okay, I want this to be very very clear. I'm in the right window, by the way. That's where I am. So you can see me a little bit. You can see me a little bit. Um, this LP, think of it as like a little love letter to you. Think of it as like a little love letter to you.
A solitary house lies draped in its faded warmth, nestled in the bed like.
That's not a pot shot at anybody. A solitary house lies draped in its fading warmth, nestled in the land like an egg waiting to hatch. At its side stands a weathered old tree, the swing that hangs from its rests in utter stillness, lacking any wind to stir it. I'm Christopher Walken, and this is Dateline in BC. Oh, you bet it's daylight. Within the house, silence settles so softly around the figure of a sleeping young girl, like the downy feathers of a newborn chick. Her eyes flicker and shift as she begins to awaken. The first breath of awakening escapes my lips as the world fades into view like after a dream. A ceiling different from the one that belonged to my bedroom could be seen, dappled in golden light. I see, upon falling asleep, I had returned to this place, a timeless realm that existed somewhere between the waking world and the world of dreams, a place where one never went hungry and the sun never moved from its spot in the sky. Once again, I was back at that place. Speaking of being back in a place, hi everybody, what's going on? This is Ryan Sierra. We are playing Fallstreak. This is a 50-hour plus visual novel, and it is a story. Let me tell you, and it is so original and it's so powerful. The thing is, our main character here has this power to do some weird astral projection-esque shit, but it never comes up again in the later half of the game, so I don't... Why? Sequel, please. Wait, no, that would be more like... The time wasn't an issue when the golden dream sitting around became unbearable rather quickly. Let's go outside. The vivid golden light of an eternal sunset fills my vision as I exit the house. With no particular destination in mind, I start moving my legs towards the horizon. Eventually, the house behind me shrinks to but a tiny dot in the distance. But even then, green grass is the only thing that stretches out before me. I had done this many times already, so I knew. The golden dream was a wrapping world. Like Taco Bell new beef burrito wrap crunch. No matter what direction you went, if you continued in a straight line, you always ended up back at the house. Like in a Silent Hill game? Isolated and closed off. It wasn't wrong to think of the golden dream as a prison. But if so, the waking world of Socotrine was just as much of a prison. Okay, so here's the deal. With the name of this city, or country rather, I have the impulse to say Socotrine. It might be Socotrine? Socotrine? I don't know. It's gonna be a hassle to walk a full loop back around to the house. Ah, you're here. A presence had appeared at my side during my aimless wandering, though calling it a presence was a bit of a stretch, seeing as how I couldn't see, hear, or touch it. How then did I know it was there? Also, yes, if I didn't say that already, didn't say this already, I'm going to say it now. I've played this game once before. This is my second time playing the game. So, and it's been a while. It's been a few months. So this will be fun because I know what happens, but my memory is blurry. And I have, in that sense, more questions than ever. I have more questions than the first time I played this game. Well, let's just say there's lots of things that don't make sense in this place. Good evening, Tubby. Tubby, a childish name I had given the immaterial being a long time ago upon noticing it for the first time. Upon opening my eyes, I find the very bicycle I envisioned standing before me, as if it had been there all along. Wow, it came out pretty nice. Let's give it a go. I try mounting the bike. Damn, thwack. But the poor contraption immediately falls apart under my weight, sending me plummeting to the ground with a heroic faceplant. Ooh, ooh, woo! I don't know why, but whenever Tubby is with me, tinkering around with the fabric of this world becomes possible. There are limits to what I can do, though. Anything I try to instantiate possesses complete fidelity to my vision, so my complications arise if I don't truly understand what I'm trying to conceive. Though I understood the general's theory behind how a bike worked, when you get down to the nitty-gritties, it's a complex machine that requires many parts to work together in harmony to perform its function. Oh well, not planning on being a bicycle mechanic when I grow up anyway. Disheartened, I detach the bell from the broken-down bike and give it a ring as I resume my journey on foot. But it only creates a dull and pitiful sound like clapping wood before crumbling to dust in my hand. Well, looks like we can cross building bells off our list of ambitious dreams as well. Upon returning to the house, I stop and ponder the motionless swing under the tree. Several hours had already passed, not that it really mattered. Before I knew it, the tree was creaking and groaning overhead like a grandpa cajoled into giving a kid a piggyback ride. As I sway through the air, my thoughts stray onto a particular avenue. I wonder if God has woes. This girl's like, what, 8? The nature and veracity of such an existence aside, it was the implication of being all-knowing that interested me. Omniscience. In a way, it could be said, I possessed a certain degree of it when I came to the Golden Dream. There's nothing that ever happens here without my knowledge, after all, because nothing changes in this place unless I dictate or define so. I wonder if it's the same. I wonder if, from God's perspective, the universe doesn't change unless they dictate or define so. If so, I can't think of omniscience as anything more than a curse. I always end up finding myself here, don't I? My cradle and my cage. The Celestial Library. That was the name I had given this sprawling room painted over with stars. Space was distorted in several rooms in the Golden Dream, but it was only here that it felt like the heavens itself were spreading out before you. What should I read today? Books that couldn't be found in the waking world, and books that spoke of the universe beyond Socotrine's closed realm. There was nothing in this garden of knowledge I had left unread, but it wasn't like I had anything else to do. Picking out a book at random, I settled down in a comfy alcove on the second floor. Go ahead and read too, Tubby. I shut my eyes for a bit as I addressed Tubby. When I reopened them, an open book can be seen lying on the floor by my side. Now, what do we have here? None of the books in the Celestial Library had an author or title, but all it took was a quick glance at the first sentence for me to discern the book's contents. It's been a long time since I've read this one, or perhaps it hasn't been that long at all. A world of only one. It was a story about such a world. As if reflecting the heart of their sole reader, it was a theme that many of the books in this library shared. Now then, take me away once more. Let me slip and fall between the pages, the lines. If only for a moment, I shall dream.
Who's this? Once upon a time.
Once upon a time, there was a world that had lost all but one to time. A lone girl who did not know the warmth of others, yet longed for it still. One day she beheld her reflection in the water and had a thought. If the person on the other side were to come over here, I would no longer be alone. It was a simple and childish wish, yet the girl poured her everything into that wish. Seconds, minutes, hours, decades, centuries, millennium.
Days, months, years.
The girl created many selves as time tick-tocked away. One made of wood, one made of clay, one made of porcelain, and one made of plastic. She crafted those selves without end. dolls that were her very splitting image that even moved as she might. Yet it was not enough for the girl. For while the dolls could move, it was only when she manipulated them to do so. A self that had their own thoughts and moved of their own will. The girl labored without end to bring such a self into the world, until at last she was finally able to fulfill her wish. A beautiful doll, created in the girl's own image and dressed in trim of 7 colors. Upon seeing its eyes open for the first time, the girl voiced the first greeting in her life. "Hello, dear dreamer." However, the doll could only stare in silence, for it did not know of words. So the girl smiled deeply and widely from the bottom of her heart, for even if the doll did not know of words, it should know of smiles. That was what the girl thought, or rather wished for. "You must have so many questions, so let me show you your naught and nil, my all fulfilled." Taking the doll's hand in hers, the girl turned to the water's surface, where 2 reflections rippled like the turning of a tale's pages, the jostling of an upended bookmark. "Myself, monochrome of 7 colors. I am you, you are me. The puppet, the puppeteer no more. I am you, and you are me." Words spoken with a smile. They carried meaning the doll could not grasp. The Tim Allen. Sinking to her knees, the girl cradled the arm lying on the ground. Her hunched figure seemed incredibly small to the doll. "Most of my body has already been replaced with doll parts. I'm almost as much doll as you." The girl had spared nothing, not even her own body, in her yearning to create another self. "It is for this reason that I know. The strings that attach the body and soul are the same as that which controls dolls. Dolls like you don't have any will of their own. They're simply inhabited by mine. Strings that bestowed life and movement upon the girl's creations, those very strings were the girl's chains. The dolls under my control cannot do anything beyond what I dictate. Even when they laugh, cry, and sing, those actions never stop being my own. Even you, dear dreamer, you cannot move unless I command it. You are incapable of disobeying the script I write for you. But most importantly, you were incapable of writing your own script." The doll did not know what to say. It did not know how to feel. I mean, God, you're just fucking bullying it. Perhaps it was a shock. Perhaps it was because the girl had not yet determined what the doll might feel or say. "You understand, don't you? Why you can't create a world without me? Because I am you, and you are me." With its arms spread wide. With arms spread wide, the girl welcomed the doll into her chest, embracing it sweetly, tenderly, as the doll's 7 colors turned to one. Red, the colorful canvas. Red, the monochrome canvas. Wait. Oh, dude, oh shit. Oh, I just realized, okay, as a person who's played this game before, that is actually a deep foreshadowing line right there. It doesn't become relevant, though, for like a long time. And since this game is as old as Sin, I'll cue you back in to let you know. But we'll stick a pin in that now, gamers, and just say that was actually that's actually a crazy foreshadowing. Anyway, vibrant, vacant, it became overwhelmed with a singular hue. So dark, so cold. Is this death? It's scary, isn't it, dear dreamer? The doll answered. It did not. Wait, which is it? A tear running down its porcelain cheek. Red as a rose, it was not clear like the raindrops that flowed down the girl's face. Alone. That's how I've been all my life. But at the very least, I didn't want to die that way. With someone at my side, that's how I wanted it to end. Won't you grant that small wish of mine, dear dreamer? It was then that the doll's mouth moved, giving voice to one last gentle lie. I am here, by your side. We shall sleep together, for I am you, and you are me. And we're as happy as we can be. Hold on. what do you think? 2.5? Is that good? Sound also is like at 2.5. Let's see. And so the world of only one became that of none, as the last that remained slipped into eternal repose.
Whatever that means. Am I right, gamers?
When I come to, I found myself lying in a bed. Even before I opened my eyes, though, I knew. Still here, huh? Curling into a loose ball, I find the book I had picked up by my side. I run my fingers across the book's nameless binding. Its blank roughness corresponds. A world where nothing is unexpected and everything is defined by you. A universe of only one. I wonder, what if people were to gods, as dolls were to the girl? Dolls cannot act on their own, and the puppeteer that controls them can never be ignorant of what they would do, because on an intrinsic level their actions are the puppeteer's. In a similar vein, people can laugh, cry, and sing. But is their laughter and lamentation the product of their free will? Or is it simply the dictation of an unseen script?
Is it simply the dictation of the Constitution of the United States of America? Thank you very much.
After wrapping up my morning dailies, I descend the stairs to the kitchen, where a bowl of chicken congee already awaited me. I don't know what is that, congee, congi? Also dailies. That's adorable. That's such an adorable word for chores.
Oh, excuse me, did you do your dailies?
Good morning, Addie. Did you have a restful night?
Yes, it was golden. Holding up the OK sign, I blow furiously on a spoonful of the hot rice porridge before guiding it to my mouth.
What?
I give a little yelp as my tongue scorches from the unexpected heat.
Careful, it's fresh out of the pot.
Oh, is this just like rice pilaf, but with chicken? Also, so her power is that she's like a incredibly powerful lucid dreamer, but she can also sleep in a lucid dream and go to an even further, deeper dream? Yo, that's intense. Papa makes a troubled expression as he watches me squirm around in my seat. Hot! Somehow the pain was not unwelcome. This too was one of the tiny treasures of ordinary life, after all.
You seem to be in high spirits today, Addie. Something happened at school?
Papa pushes a glass of water over to me as he prudently wafts his own chow. Once liberated from the congee's searing heat, I think back to the day before the golden dream. I believe we're having a bridge construction contest today?
That would explain why you were collecting all those materials last night.
Okay, cool. Little bit of a moment here. Shut the fuck up. A little bit of a moment. We're gonna change that guy's voice to like a Christian Bale Howl's Moving Castle instead of like a deep like night guy. I don't know. Let's go.
Will you be able to carry that all to school though? Seems a bit heavy.
Do you doubt my strength? With a swaggering smile, I flex my legendary textbook-toting biceps.
Please get Noletta to help you.
I promptly finish eating my meal at the expense of my tongue's outer layers. Usually I'm not too fond of Papa's cooking since he's rather conservative with what he makes, but for some reason, his homely chow congee was an exception. After washing up, I retrieve everything I need and go put on my shoes. Papa follows along to the door to see me off, as he always does.
It's okay if you don't want the contest, you know. Just try to have fun.
Reaching down, he rubs the side of my head with the pads of his fingers. It was a familiar and comforting sensation, but somehow it made me feel a little lonely. Running out to behold the clear blue sky in the morning was the best way to start a day. But that's not to say I don't love running out to an overcast sky. A rainy sky, a misty sky, a windy sky, a snowy sky. They were all lovely. They were all the best. I find her at the edge of the sprawling green field that makes up our property, a figure so still they seem to blend into the very landscape.
We're gonna find out later in this game. So this girl's kind of like an aloof, like very aloof, like character. It's very weird. She comes off like she has something like a learning disability, to put it lightly. We find out that that's a defense mechanism.
Good morning, Addie. Her rubescent eyes fixate on me as she greets me with a blank expression. I'm gonna... Don't mind if I take that word, put it in my pocket, thank you, rubescent, okay? Wrong. Reaching out with both index fingers, I push the corners of her mouth up. Greetings should be done with a smile. Noletta inclines her head, causing her snow-white hair to tickle my wrists. A giggle escapes me when Noletta tries again with the oddly charming smile I've shaped with my fingers. Good morning, Noletta. I beam a big smile at her to drive my point home. Noletta Rue, a girl shrouded in mystery to the point where even her age was unknown. Nice save. She was clearly older than me, though, with an appearance that suggested around 14 or 15 if I had to guess. Despite that, she was very innocent. Alarmingly so, in fact. No, she's not. One time, when we sent her on an errand at the bakery, she almost ended up stealing, utterly oblivious to the concept of exchanging currency for goods. That's why I like her so much, though. Her presence has the effect of making even the familiar and routine feel new and fresh, as if you were experiencing the world for the first time again. It's strangely liberating watching Noletta stare in awe at something as simple and mundane as someone kneading dough, for example. The world is full of ordinary treasures that lie unnoticed right before us, only we don't realize it unless it's framed in the eyes of another's innocence. That's a beautiful line. Holy shit, this game's so fucking good. Like, look, it's so pretty, dude. Like, I've never seen, like, a visual novel be so rural before. Like, they're usually always in, like, a city. Even now, Noletta was staring fixedly at the big bag of materials hanging from my back. Do you remember? We're supposed to bring in materials for a bridge construction project today. To build a bridge, you need materials. Noletta makes an expression of wonder, as if the thought had never crossed her mind. I didn't bring any materials. Or wait, no, I gotta read her like... I didn't... Huh. How the fuck? I didn't bring any materials. Oh my god, I fucking can't. Dude, leave a comment down below in the comment section if you want to voice Noletta. You. Got this big sis Lorona. Lorona virus. Snapping my index fingers at her, I turn on my heels and bolt. Hey! Don't only pull the big sis card when it's convenient. Okay, so, little thing you should know here before we dive right into part 2. In the next part, of course. Lorona is worst girl. I mean, this is completely subjective. The story takes on a life of its own. But for me, if you want to get into the Rhine Sierra Cool Kids Club, the Sierra Kids Club, I guess, Lorona, worst girl. Kalia, best girl. Repeat after me. Lorona, worst girl. Kalia, best girl. As if in agreement that we had witnessed nothing, the two of us mosey along in silent solidarity. Though I have to say, it's pretty funny how good of a mood Noletta's simple act has put Kalia in. You know, it's not just Noletta. Bending forward to get a good angle on her face, I gaze into Kalia's eyes. I care about you too. What? Shut up! I'm not stupid. You're just trying to tease me again like you always do. You're such a little troll. How dare you? I'm a sweet young girl. Kalia is too pure for this world. She goes through so much shit, and is so uncool, but best girl. Still, though, I wonder why this always seems to happen. Up ahead, Noletta was poking through the bushes in search of flowers. I am Noletta. Oh my god. That's a sound effect. Upon entering the one classroom building, an array of empty desks meets us, save for one. Yeah, they have a one classroom building in this game, which implies, especially given the way that they're dressed, like I know this is like a fantasy, this is an other world in a galaxy far, far away. But given like our time periods here in the real world, I feel like this must take place in like the early 1900s or like the 1800s, something like that. Amidst the illuminating light of early morning, she was there, a young woman whose presence held a mysterious allure to it. With immaculate form and perfect posture, she sat unmoving at one of the far side desks. Good morning, Erwina. Hey, Erwina! Hello, Addie. Kalia. Angling her head in our direction, Erwina returns our greeting with a vague nod. While I knew Erwina was the oldest student at our school, it was difficult to get a good read on her age with how her eyes were always bandaged over. Wait, who's the teacher? A flower that suits Addie. I couldn't find one. A flower that suits Addie. I couldn't find one. Huh. We made it. Oh, like, wow, Scoob! What if I just read Lorona like this? Oh, we made it! Noletta, Lorona, and Tristan as well. Jesus. As if taking his cue, Triss summarily keels over and kisses the ground. Don't mind him. That's just Triss being the usual drama queen. I see. Get it? Funny. Jokes. Laugh. So, yeah, we might not actually have any room for new students. The heck? If we don't get any new classmates because Addie's such a bookworm, I'm gonna be mad. At least my books don't sell me out. Huh. I suppose it would get rather cramped given how lively it already gets around here. I will probably have to report the troublemaker using school property without permission, though. Take me away, officer. I jest, of course. Schools are for learning, after all. It is senseless to hit the hen for laying eggs. Now that I think of it, though, the 5 of you are here quite early today. That's right. We're really pumped for today's competition. Playing Destiny 2, of course. Is Mr. Narao not here yet? It appears Larona's attempts to resuscitate her fallen comrade have not been bearing fruit. Worry not, Father will be arriving shortly.
Doesn't he, like, not have... There's no art style for him. They, like, forgot that.
That's right. Though a student in name, it was more accurate to say Arwina taught alongside her father, if anything.
Oh? Long have I waited the day my students arrive early. Such is their enthusiasm to learn.
Mr. Narao, an eccentric individual who had constructed this school using his own fortune in the wake of the fire of collapse.
No reason why that's in all caps. No reason. It's not going to become important later or anything. No.
The fact that he even personally taught was testament to his dedication to the next generation. I still remember his baffling self-introduction upon meeting everyone at the beginning of the school year.
Narao can be interpreted to mean white wings of learning. If it's difficult for you to understand, you may refer to me as Mr. Narao for now. Maybe his name is Narau, but I'm just going to say Narao.
Just like on the first day, our enigmatic teacher was casually toting around a gargantuan valise.
I doubt anyone has my morning lark over here beat in terms of getting up at god-awful hours, though.
Parting with one's bedsheets isn't a Herculean ordeal for everyone, Mr. Night Owl. Smiling wryly, Arwina rises to assist Mr. Narao with unpacking the valise's contents. Though she generally relies on a retractable rod to navigate, I've noticed that sometimes she just doesn't seem to need it. I wonder how she does it. That thing is sure living up to its reputation as a bottomless black hole, isn't it? We watch on as the valise palpably shrinks as it is released from its bulging payload.
Hold on. What?
Wiping at my eyes, I sniffle and lower my gaze. It's not like I want you to use my materials or anything, Babaka. Addie, I'll use your materials, so don't be sad. She looked like she was about to cry. There were actually tears in her eyes. Well, then at that point she is just crying, isn't she? You're so devoted, Noletta. Unable to contain myself, I giggle as I reach up to pinch her on the cheek. No. She makes some weird noises, but doesn't try to resist as I play with her face.
We'll wait for several more students to arrive before commencing class.
Our class had around 12 regular students in total. Since it had such a wide age range, lessons could fluctuate from learning basic language one day to advanced science the next. Fortunately, the school was well equipped for dealing with its unique circumstances. I guess that's one of the perks of being funded by a wealthy teacher. Those of us still standing kill some time poking at Lorona and Triss before class finally begins.
Now then, without further ado, let us begin the lecture on Socotrine's history.
The entire class was gathered around a game of Risk. This is Risk. The entire class was gathered around what could only be described as an oversized board game. Mr. Nadao's always had an unorthodox style of teaching. Conventional teaching tends to lean towards fixed methods and rote memorization, but Mr. Nadao was fond of something he called divergent thinking. As much as he tries to dress it up, though, I'm pretty sure he just gets bored easily. Is this a map of Socotrine? Who's Lemmy? Who the flip?
Indeed, it's far from accurate in terms of scale, but this board game has been laid out to simulate Socotrine's basic layout. Overall, Socotrine can be divided broadly into 5 areas. The Kion Terra. Yeah, I've already butchered this word a million times. The Kion Terra Plains, the Urban Core, the Greater and Lower Patavelt Highlands, and the Muted Forest of the East.
This, right here, that's the Muted Forest. That's where we're gonna go later and smoke. You know what I mean, dude? So anyway, quick recap here. Addie lives with her dad. Adelise lives with her dad. And she has about 4 to 5 other friends. Kalia, Tristan, Noletta, not Nutella, and Lorona virus. And basically, they go to this one classroom school. And we have some questions already. What is the history behind this Kingdom of Socotrine? Or Socotrine? All that and more might be answered in the next part. Thank you so much. Hey everybody, this is Ryan Sierre, your favorite chocolatey eclair. Thanks so much for checking out my amateur voice acting. Leave a like if you liked it. Leave a comment if you want to give feedback. Thanks so much.